Hello. So, a few weeks ago, about a month ago, I went to my rheumatologist because of pain in my hands and my back and swelling, blah, 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 blah. And I wasn't, it was a first visit, so I didn't get a lot of answers, but I was prescribed a Medrol DPak, which is a set of 6 days of steroid medication. And because I knew nothing about it, and the internet was only so helpful, I decided to take a video pretty much every day of the pack and just kind of discuss the way that it worked for me. So that's what this is. If I can get my head in front of the light. I'm taking this on my computer because my phone is full and I can't afford more storage. Here's the first day taking, let's see if I can pronounce this, methylprednisolone. It was a 6-day pack. I went to my rheumatologist yesterday. It was my first day going to a rheumatologist. We talked about everything. They took a bunch of blood. They also took x-rays of my entire spine, top to bottom, and they were like, your spine looks really good, which is not something I ever hear. My neck is really straight, but that happened with a car accident a few years ago, so I'm not surprised. So I am getting set up for MRIs since there was nothing on the x-ray, and I am taking this. So this is a 6-day pack of methylprednisolone, which is used, as far as I understand, it's used essentially as a 1 week, the last 6 days. Starts out at a high concentration, like this whole row. I'm going to take all of those. I'm going to take 6 pills of just this by the end of today. And then like tomorrow's 5, and then 4, 3, 2, 1. It's essentially, it lowers your body's immunoresponse to certain things that will increase, it lowers your response to issues that create pain and swelling. So like I know somebody who uses packs like this after an asthma episode. I believe that the theory behind it for me is like, okay, let's see how you respond to this because of my pain in my hands and the swelling in my back and all of that. We'll see how it goes. So this is day 1 on it. I'm not gonna lie, I've been told by people who have taken it that it is really likely to cause me sleep problems, bloating, irritability, and hunger. Yeah, I'm not super surprised. The bloating, irritability, and sleep problems. Sleep problems, I'm on a medication for. I take trazodone every night. It is wonderful. The irritability and bloating, though, welcome to TMI time. Maybe it's not. I'm talking about medical stuff. I started my period yesterday. So I'm already kind of irritable, I'm kind of bloated, and it tends to create sleep issues. So this is gonna be a fun week. So I'm taking that. I am getting scheduled for an MRI, especially for my SI joints. So it's the sacroiliac joint. It's where your sacrum meets the iliac crest. So where your hips are. Apparently that's the shape that people's hips make. And then we're moving on from there. They may try some medication with me. Depending on what they find, I have neurologist names that I might go to, but this is my first day on medication specifically prescribed to be for my pain. So we'll see how that goes. Okay. So yesterday I did the whole 6 pills, that whole row. And first of all, my friend warned me that they would make me hungry. They'd make me really hungry. Oh my god, I felt like I never stopped eating yesterday, and I wasn't full. Like usually if someone gets like a deep dish pizza, like it's
that I'll do like a slice and I'm good. I had so much food yesterday, and yet at the end of the night when someone had ordered like a deep dish pizza for our writing night and I had a giant piece of it, I was still ravenous. So yeah, it turns out corticosteroids make you really, really hungry. I get like this cold every time the weather makes a shift. And it appears that we are officially in winter based on the snow and on the relatively consistent temperature. So the same day that I started these, which are immunosuppressant, I also got my winter cold. So that's fun. They're also making it really hard for me to sleep last night. Even though I do take a sleeping medication, I noticed that usually I'll wake up maybe once or twice during the night unless I'm like really, really stressed, but I can usually just go straight back to sleep. Between the cold and the steroids, I slept really badly last night, even with the medication. So like, I mean, I'm glad I have it because that means that I got better sleep than I would have otherwise. That's going on. And something weird that I noticed yesterday, and I've never had this feeling before, is the tips of my fingers. Like a little while after I take the pills, the tips of my fingers start feeling like somebody's putting a needle into them. And it's not like a pins and needles, like that sensation when your a body part goes to sleep. It feels like Luke Skywalker getting his new hand tested. Someone just like ding, 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 just in the tips of my fingers. I've never had that happen before, so I'm pretty sure it is the steroids. I don't know if that's a normal response. I haven't had the energy to look it up because it took me 2 hours to have a cup of tea and take a shower, and I still haven't eaten breakfast. So yeah, that's how the first day went. Very hungry, trouble sleeping, and pins feeling in the tips of my fingers. Ooh, which is starting now. I just took my morning pill before I started recording this, and it's starting right now to feel just these little sharp pains in the tips of my fingers. And I keep doing this all day to try to make them go away, but they don't.
I don't know why this looks grainy today, but it does. Okay. So I forgot to record one of these yesterday for day 3 on the steroid pack. Day 3 was okay. It is making it hard to sleep. That's for sure, even with the trazodone. I noticed that last night as well. Last night was going down to, I think, 1 pill instead of 2. And I'm still taking my trazodone. So that's helping. But it's definitely making it really hard to sleep. I'm like, I have a little bit of a cold, but that's gotten a lot better. And still it's really hard for me to be asleep. So that's been a little bit frustrating. I am still noticing the like pain in my fingertips. And again, it's not like a pins and needles feeling, it's just like a sharp, somebody stabbing me with a needle type of feeling. I'm not ravenous anymore. I'm down to like, I think today is the first day where it's just like 1 pill before breakfast and then 1 at lunch, dinner, and before bed, I think. One thing I did realize, I had scheduled myself for my MRI. I was put on these by my rheumatologist. They didn't see anything on my x-rays, and they were giving me these to kind of, essentially it was to take down inflammation from anything arthritic or autoimmune or whatever's going on, which is great. And I will say that like it's been snowing and wet and damp, and my joints haven't really been hurting, which is nice. Normally with this weather, my hands, my joints would be awful, and actually they kind of ache this morning. My back would also ache, and they like, I've had some muscular pain for sure, but yeah, it's my joints have been feeling great this week. So there is that, but I scheduled myself for an MRI, which I was asked to do after they didn't see anything on my x-rays, which will give them a much more detailed look at like the softer tissue and everything. The only thing is I am not going to finish my steroids until Tuesday. So I'm going to actually reschedule that for next week. I probably can't get it anytime in the fall, in this current week, or this coming week, because it's Thanksgiving. But I'm going to be scheduling it for next week because I want to make sure that, like, if there is something that's inflamed, if there is something that's an issue, I want it to show up on the MRI, and I don't know how much it would affect it. I actually don't. But I did some research on my own because I can't call my doctor right now because it's the weekend. And basically, like, if it's inflammatory, there is a likelihood of it affecting what's being shown. So I'm going to reschedule that for the following week. I'm still having the pain in my hands. I don't actually know if that is from the medication or if that is actually just nerve pain that I'm having, to be entirely honest. It is real. I keep doing this just because, like, I can't do anything to get rid of it, which is really annoying. But, like, this makes me feel slightly better. Yeah, yesterday was really, really bad. But yesterday was also my first day going back to yoga, which I hadn't been able to do in, like, a month. So I really, like, I can understand it being a little off. When I say really bad, I just meant, like, the nerve pain in my hand. Hands. But yeah, that's where it stands for the last 2 days. Yesterday was okay. I am starting to notice more pain in my hands. It does seem like a lot of it is nerve pain. So I'm not sure how much of that is anything to do with the medication or if that's just me. It seems really likely it's just me. I haven't noticed that that feeling in my fingertips I was talking about before. I haven't noticed that as much the last couple of days, so it seems possible that that might have been the medication. The hunger has gone way down. I don't feel like I need to devour everything. That was pretty much just day 1 and day 2. It has helped my joints a lot. It's gotten, like, snowy and gross and wet, and normally I would be in a lot of pain, but I haven't been. Like, my hands still hurt, and my wrists are kind of starting to hurt the last couple of days, but it's miles beyond where I was before. Okay, so today's my last day on the steroids. Yesterday my hands hurt a lot. Like, I'm starting to feel a little bit in my joints. Still not as bad as it would be normally. But yeah, I'm having nerve pain, especially last night. I was having really bad nerve pain in my hands. And then, but I've been able to be more active, way more active, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday than I have been in probably a month at least. I've been out of yoga classes for about a month. Mostly because of my hands, because of my pain level and the swelling and blah, 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 blah. I think you can see my left neck and shoulder here has swollen up, which I'm not super shocked about. My right, not so much. It's still a little inflamed, but you can definitely see it on the left. But the pain is better. I haven't really had much of any pain in my back, which has been really nice. The sleep is evening out. I only had 2 pills to take yesterday. I have 1 to take today. Yeah, the pain in my hands is definitely annoying, but I have had nerve pain this entire time. So at the very least, it tells me that, like, that's something that's probably not related to the inflammatory issues. Today's my last day on it. And I'm just probably going to do, like, a wrap-up thing tomorrow after I get through the day. So that was the 6 days on my Medrol DPak. It helped a lot. For me, because there was no real information to go off of initially, it was kind of okay, we're going to give this to you, we're going to see how it treats the inflammation, and based on that, then that gives us information. Since then, I have finished the pack. I have had an MRI, and I'm going back to the doctor in the next week or two to talk about that and to talk about what all of that means. I've also gotten some blood work back and stuff like that. So it's all still diagnostic, but that is my experience with a steroid Medrol pack. I'm planning on making videos like this because I hate the fact that there's so little conversation about the process of figuring out what the hell is wrong with you. So yeah, if you liked this, I don't know, like, subscribe, send me a carrier pigeon, and stay awesome.